What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We got the gang. We're here to talk about quarterback prospects 2023 rookies. The NFL draft hasn't quite happened yet, but we're approaching that. And then pretty soon after that, maybe like zero point 0.1 seconds, because a lot of dynasty freaks out there, 0.1 second after the draft, you guys will be starting up those dynasty rookie drafts. I already know it. So might as well start talking about them. We've been working pretty tough on this dynasty guide. Right now in front of you, for the people watching, we have Fantasy Pros Dynasty Rookie Rankings. They're kind of early. This is a consensus of 23 rankings. A big question we're going to cover today is who would you draft number one overall? But what looking at these rankings, what stands out the most? What do you guys notice?
To me, that Anthony Richardson is number three, and that Stetson Bennett has moved up, I believe, as well as Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker's just came back from an ACL injury. He's 4 years older than Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, but he seems to be rising up a lot of mock draft boards lately. So I think that's very interesting. And then Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I think, should be probably after Stetson Bennett, in my opinion, but I think he's rising as well.
Keep in mind these rankings could be garbage. Don't don't think that this is like official, you know.
It's actually not that bad. Like I agree with like the top, top four
Yeah,
for
4 or 5 names in
The
there.
top
Yeah.
5 look normal, yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
top five look normal, and then it's probably up for debate after
What's
that.
what's poopy after the top 5, Sushane?
I don't know if anything is poopy. It's just more of like, we don't really know who's going to get drafted at which teams. And I mean, they all kind of are the same, like project as career backups. So, I mean, we'll cover them in a little bit more detail than that in a little bit down the road in the show. But nothing terrible. I think of those 5, 6 names left, probably DTR would be my highest ranked one today, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, I think he's similar to McKee and Stetson Bennett, like you were saying, Mike. I think he should be kind of ranked in
Is
that
there a
same
Brock Purdy
range.
of this draft, in your opinion, Sushane? Is there a similar player that fits that mold?
Oh
Someone
man! I mean,
undervalued
again,
that
we're gonna
could
have to
be getting
see.
in the late
We're gonna have to
rounds?
see in the draft. I think that's a better question I can answer after. Give it 1 more month. We're 1 month away from the draft. Once that happens,
To see the
I think then
landing
we'll have a
spot?
good idea. Yeah, see a landing spot and then kind of see, because I mean, like example, like I know Miami has a backup, but a team that has a injury type prone quarterback, or maybe the Raiders, if they don't go high QB in round one, they have Jimmy Garoppolo who could get hurt. He's shown the ability to get hurt. It's like stuff like that. It just kind of depends where someone goes and how highly, I guess, they're drafted, what type of opportunity. For
Yeah,
example, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I think, should be drafted probably maybe like 5th, 6th round compared to a guy like Jake Haener, who, we're talking around 7, maybe undrafted, right? So I think that's the only thing. Maybe if there's one thing poopy about it, there's some guys who are drafted, who should be drafted on this list, who are ranked lower than guys who I think are undrafted free agents. Other than that, it's fine, I think.
yeah, this is a preliminary list. There's 23 experts that did these rankings, and there's going to probably be about 100 in a month or two. So it's a very raw list. Some people may have did this old. Some people may have not put that much thought into it. I haven't. I'm part of the consensus that hasn't submitted their rankings yet. I will move up DTR, but this is what Fantasy Pros has. I'll read it off for the audio listeners. And like I said, it's probably not great rankings, but some of it's good. The top five is fairly solid. So number one, they have, by the way, this is Fantasy Football Dynasty Rookie Rankings 2023 on Fantasy Pros. Number one, CJ Stroud. Number two, Bryce Young. Number three, AR. Number four, Will Levis. Number five, Hendon Hooker. Number six, Tanner McGee. Number seven, Stetson Bennett. Number eight, Jake Haener. Number nine, Jaron Hall. And number 10, DTR. So that's kind of what we're using just to have something to look at. Who do we draft number 1 overall? I'm on the clock. Who do I need to draft overall? I'm taking a QB in Superflex. Who do I take? Or you could say number 2, and I'm taking a QB after Bijan maybe. Which quarterback flies off the board first?
I think you gotta go. Well, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Dynasty, Dynasty Fantasy,
Superflex.
Fantasy.
Okay, so we're in the top 3. You have the first 2 pick. I have the 3rd pick. If I were you, I would pick CJ Stroud, number 1. I just think he's the safest of all the quarterback prospects. He's 6'4", I believe. He's shown that he can run against Georgia. He showed that he has the ability to run and get yards if he has open space. He's super accurate. I think he will be the number 1 pick by the Panthers. I think that that's a lock in my opinion. I don't think that they're really entertaining Bryce. I think Bryce is too small. Even though he has, all the other intangibles and very accurate. I just think that if you're looking to draft someone number 1 in a Dynasty Superflex, you want someone that could potentially be on your team for like 10 years, and I just don't see Bryce holding up that long, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think you got to take CJ Stroud, number 1.
I think you have a tough decision, Couch, honestly. CJ Stroud, yes, he's definitely everything Mike says, accurate, good size, all that stuff. First overall pick as a general manager, I'm definitely going to take Stroud because he's more of an NFL quarterback, NFL size, all of that stuff. We're talking fantasy football though, right? We did see that, on tape the other day that he was mobile, he can run around a little bit, but he's not going to get you those rushing statistics. And then also, we looked at Bryce Young compared to CJ Stroud. You never once said, and same with me, you never once kind of had that wow or whoa, that was insane moment with CJ Stroud when you kind of see that with Bryce Young, right? So the rushing ability is going to be there as well for Bryce. Only downside is that limited frame, which is a big problem. The durability is going to be a real concern. He's listed there at 5'10", 204. I know a lot of us know that the 204 is going to be 204 is going to be a lot, but most of us know that he's probably closer to around like 190, 192, 194 at best. And that's going to be a concern. That's going to be a concern for the holdup. But I don't think it's as obvious, Mike, as you're saying with CJ Stroud. I mean, I do think that, he should be in consideration, but I don't know. It's tough. I want to know for sure which team lands who. And then let's say Houston does get Bryce Young and CJ Stroud does go to Carolina, like you were saying earlier, Mike. Let's see what Houston gets at 12, right? If they get Bryce Young, a receiver at 12, then hey, maybe all of a sudden Houston becomes a more attractive landing spot, ? Than Carolina. I don't know, right? Both of those situations are kind of in flux right now. Just gonna have to see what's going on there, but it's definitely between those 2 quarterbacks in my mind, for sure.
I think though, so I have the 3rd pick, just full disclosure, in the same Dynasty League as Hussein. I'm seriously considering taking Anthony Richardson ahead of Bryce Young at 3, only because I just feel like the rushing upside is much higher. And if we're going for like fantasy, best case outcome, I think there's a higher probability that Anthony Richardson has a number 1 QB1 season over Bryce Young, just because he's like a Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts type, runner, in my opinion. And he's got the prototypical size and elite speed and athleticism. So I think if you're trying to hit a home run with like the number 3 overall pick, I think it's better to take a gamble with Richardson's upside over the potential, brittle Kyler type career that Bryce Young could have.
So Anthony Richardson right now, where is he mocked going? Just throw
it's
out
all
a number.
over, but he's definitely like 4th, like is the highest, like after Bryce. Like
I've seen one mock where I think the
Colts is the highest. Basically.
Yeah, the Colts are the highest. I've seen one where the Colts move up to 3 and get Richardson.
Yeah, that guy's trying to get a couple clicks, huh?
Yeah,
Whoever
usually.
posted that one. But yeah, because
Sure.
the Colts are so boring. They're so
Yeah.
whack.
If the
Main
Colts
landing
don't
spots there are
get
going to be
Lamar
4
Jackson,
Colts
I
and then
think they have
7.
to go Richardson.
here's
Which is annoying.
my question, which is I'm I'm not that big of a fan of AR. Here's why. Here's my thinking. So he's going right now. A lot of mocks have him going 4, by the way. So I bring up like some random mocks. I see him being mocked to the Colts, whatever. Let's say he's going 4th, 10th, whatever.
Sure.
How
Top 10.
where was he going before the combine?
I think he was still a first
Mock.
rounder, but not like
Yeah.
top 5. You know,
Well,
what I
let's
mean?
say like
He was
he's
still
going
top 10. I think.
Close to
top
top 10,
10?
top 10, top
Yeah.
15.
that high, you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh
he was.
yeah.
He was
Is
He's
that-
considered
going
there,
that
for
high?
sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, I thought he was going much lower, and then now he moved up a lot. So he
No.
still moved up a lot, but still, he still moved up a lot in mocks, and they're just mocks. We don't know, but it's like
I mean, he
feel
could still
like-
go number 1. I mean, it's possible. It's not that crazy.
Yeah,
Like, he
I
could
just
be number
feel
1.
like us spectators, especially, and people mocking him, he's jumping up so high because of a combine and people in fantasy football. So nobody was talking about taking him that high before the combine. And the combine was extremely impressive. It's very exciting. You get emotional, but like, I mean, we already knew he was a great runner. So he scored a little bit faster.
Also,
I don't
he's
know.
the youngest quarterback as well. So his potential is, higher than most.
The
'Cause
stats
he's
are here,
younger.
and he's only had one real season, so that's a risk. So here's what I'm thinking. Anthony Richardson, right? We've seen what have we seen? We're talking Dynasty. So you have this guy on your roster for several years. Now, what have I don't want to put him in exactly in a bottle, but what have we seen that's close to him? So we've seen RG3 one season,
I
Lamar
think
Jackson.
Fields and Hurts.
Cam Newton, maybe similar.
Yeah, Cam Newton, Fields, Hurts.
These are good examples. Cam Newton, 2 good seasons where where you love him in Dynasty, and then you may have had a couple more that were decent, but mostly heartbreak with Cam. Lamar Jackson, 1 good season. Justin Fields, half a good season. He still hasn't played much. My point is, a lot of these guys, well, Jalen Hurts, okay, that's a good I mean, he was very raw and not really good when he first started too. So,
Josh Allen too. He was not accurate at all. And then
yeah, so I
Dable
guess
came in.
we could see them take a huge step year 3. But my point is, like, with Anthony Richardson, there's such a risk that you might get that one magical year, and then you'd have to trade him away. And it's just a lot of pressure. If you're good wheeling and dealing, you like selling high, buying low. If you're like, let's say a day trader when it comes to Dynasty, that might be your cup of tea. I feel like you got to sell him though. You got to know to let him go. And I've pushed this narrative really tough when Sushane was on a couple times, where I was telling people that they need to trade away Justin Fields if you can, because his stock was so high. And you guys aren't in this league. Drew just got in this league. Scout, what I referenced, Scout traded away. What was it? He traded away Jalen Hurts and a first for Justin Fields. Or something.
While Hurts was injured, while
terrible.
Justin Fields was on that.
It's like, yeah, and so the Dynasty, the rookie. I feel like there's a little bit too much hype with AR. And it's purely only off the combine. So it's like, what is this? Like, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, his combine's amazing. It got me emotional. I loved it. I got excited. But it's like, just based off the combine, we would do this. We would consider him number 1. It's a little tough. Maybe and there's a good chance he will be the best fantasy quarterback for 1 year. But it's like, when will that year be? And hopefully,
if he lands on the Colts, I think he has a better chance, just because the team around him is, not that bad. They have a good running game. He'll get Michael Pittman. He has a good tight end. Good, decent line. So I think that's an ideal landing spot. If he landed to a team like the Raiders, obviously I wouldn't be as high on him. But if he lands at the Colts and they invest top 5 draft capital on him, I think, he's definitely going to be the future of that franchise. And it's a lot safer of a pick than if he goes somewhere else. Or if he goes to like the Seahawks, for example, which some people have been saying, and they cut Geno loose after a year or two. That could be a good scenario for him because then he'll get, DK and Lockett and that run.
Yeah, I'm on board with that Seattle strategy more, where he has a guy who's already there who sits back. So a little bit of pushback on the Raiders thing. I mean, they have Garoppolo signed for a little bit, so it's not like AR would have to be the immediate starter. But at the same time, we mentioned him earlier how Jimmy G is injury prone. So I don't know, not the best, not the worst, but I think
at least he would have Devontae Adams. He would have
true. He would have a receiver.
Josh, Josh Jacobs.
I don't think Indy is as good for AR as you think, though, because that's a spot where he would have to be kind of forced into the mix pretty early. I mean, that could be
it could be good or bad.
At
least you'll get to use him right away.
It's how his mentals are, how he takes it, and if
I heard his interviews were really good though. Like if you listen to all the combine like buzz about him, he tested very well in the interviews, which is good. I think that it shows that he is very smart, and he he's not like a Jamarcus Russell type. Like
he's not weak. He's not weak-minded like Zach Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
Folds under.
So that's just
pressure.
Another good sign for me. That
just another box
really
checked.
Yeah, because
sure.
that could be a concern. But
Gotcha.
if most of the GMs are high on him after the combine, from that respect, I think that's just another positive sign.
We all know he's going to be very raw his first year. That's basically right.
Maybe
that's
the first couple,
Yeah, that's already
while.
like we already know that.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, I don't see him taking them, but they do have pick 20 and pick 6. So like in this mock right here has him going 20. So I mean, if he does fall,
there's no way he's going 20.
I don't think he's going to fall.
There's literally zero chance of that.
And the Seahawks just signed a huge contract with Geno Smith long term. It's like I don't know if they're.
I think it's a team friendly though, where they can get out of it, like out of
Yeah. I guess huge wasn't even the right deal, but they signed I guess to say a bit. They signed.
It's like the Jimmy deal, like they could get out of that too. Like you know what I mean? Those two contracts are team friendly. And they can basically get out of it after a year. If they
let's read some questions really quick. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We got Keys in the building. Judge my name. Do you have 2 QBs on the roster already? You definitely going AR. So
is that a question or is that?
Well, he's like the upside is too great to resist as long as you have some kind of safety on your team.
Yeah,
but I mean, all of us have to. Or if he's not talking Superflex, and Superflex, we all have, like 3 QBs on our team, right? Everybody has 2-3 QBs,
right? Fields was drafted 10th
overall,
right?
Yes,
11th actually.
Oh, 11th,
okay. Yeah.
Was it?
That's one of those.
I believe that.
Is that
Shane would know.
Is that the Mandela effect? Is that the Mandela effect?
Shane would know,
bro. Why do we think
they traded up though? I thought it was 10.
That's the Mandela effect. We know it's 10. Like, everybody thinks it's 10.
I believe him though,
but it's 11.
100% 11.
Okay.
No, he knows. It's just that's weird that like for some reason I was like pretty sure it's 10.
Me too.
And then Mike thought the same thing. It's the Mandela effect.
That's the Mandela effect.
It hits hard. That Mandela effect goes hard. Key says Hendon Hooker, big arm, short guy, similar to Drew Brees.
Is he short? Maybe. I thought he was tall.
He's not that short, I don't think.
He's not short. Turns out he's not short.
I'm like, what?
It says he's 6'3". He's probably thinking of someone else.
Is he? I need to know now.
We have it up on the screen, Mike.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. He's like 6'3".
It's up here.
I'm like, how is
this? Is a well-polished podcast. Come on. This is we got
Drew Brees. I'm like, how did that?
Drew Brees. I mean, he looks exactly like it's basically Drew Brees' clone. A twin. Yeah.
If anyone is Drew Brees, it's Stetson Bennett. That's Drew Brees right there. That's gonna be Drew Brees.
Yeah, hey, the accuracy's there for sure.
I think
Stetson
he's gonna be
Bennett?
good. I have a weird feeling about him. Like, I just feel like he's like that guy who's like underrated. Like, he's like an old Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think you were saying earlier if there's a Brock Purdy type of guy, I think maybe it could be Stetson Bennett, right? Because he's
just
a proven
old,
winner
but
against
yeah.
SEC competition, and those guys
Right.
are basically, I mean, they're not all NFL players, but
he will be ready.
chunk of
Like
them
day
are.
one of the NFL, he will be ready to go. Like you can start him.
Yeah, he would be.
Like if he lands on the Lions, like for some reason, like
Mhm.
late round or something, or like mid. I heard he's moving up to like 4th, 5th range.
Sure. He is also kind of the same size as Bryce Young, similar-ish size. So it's like whatever
he? He's
concerns we have about
5'11".
Bryce, we're gonna have about
Bryce
Bennett
is
as well.
6'2".
Look at
but
the
yeah.
weight though.
Weight.
This is
man,
crazy.
Yeah.
He looks like a insurance salesman. Like a really good one.
Yeah.
Nah, that's the suit. He's definitely he's definitely a sitcom character.
Yeah.
It's the
Sitcom
suit that
character.
makes
Oh,
you
yeah,
look
for
like
sure.
he's still in one
Looks like
episode.
Bryce
He wore a
Young's,
suit.
I mean, he looks like Purdy's older brother. That's what he looks like. Slightly older brother.
Well, this is probably the mock that Shane was referring to. Detroit Lions trade up the Arizona Cardinals.
Wow.
PFF.
Are they accurate?
I mean, it's a clickbait farm. PFF,
Of
like
course.
it's just they've totally shifted the last 2-3 years, and it's just like it's so funny. They had no social media, and now they just come up with like dumb lists all the time. Like they're like the Broncos are trading away all their receivers, and this is where they're gonna go. I'm like, no, what? No, they're not gonna trade away Cortland Sutton and KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy. Like
They might trade Judy. I feel like they might.
Sean Payton would punch somebody in the face. He's
Why
not
do you
going to
trade
take
Judy?
that.
That makes no sense.
Bro, he's not going to take the job. Like, this is after Sean Payton got hired. He's not going to take the job. It's like, hey, you got to fix Russell Wilson. Oh, we forgot to tell you. You can keep Russell Wilson, but he'll have no receivers. Like, he's not. It's just not going to happen over his dead body.
And of all the ones, we'll trade the youngest one we have. No, come on.
It's so
No.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not even gonna speak like, okay, maybe one gets traded, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm not in the know, but with all these, like, not all three, like, no. But anyway, this is PFF. The Lions trade up to get AR at 3, which I don't know. I feel like
That would be crazy.
could actually happen.
That would be wild.
It's nuts. It's such a huge risk. I mean, you're risking everything. Like, this guy's got to pan out, and Goff would be the bridge. Like, you're already saying that he's the bridge.
Yeah, that's the type of landing
If
spot.
he ended up on the Lions, I would definitely pick him over Bryce Young.
That's a great landing spot.
Yeah, that would
and this is very. Is this not very Trey Lance-ish?
Yes.
What the Niners did, they moved up to get a running QB.
The only difference is AR-15 played in the SEC and Lance played in the what did he play? The
FCS.
Well,
FCS.
AR is
huge
difference.
AR
is way more athletic too. Like, let's not,
sure.
you know,
Yeah,
Trey Lance looked very
and
athletic.
Trey Lance also completed
in his
more
situation.
passes by a lot. Let's not forget.
Really?
That. Probably, yeah, probably.
Probably.
Trey Lance has a game where he didn't
right
throw the ball.
I can
You
look that up right now.
sure? Are you sure?
Give me a minute. I'll look this up.
I don't know.
We're bringing it up.
But the competition's way different, so it's hard to it's not apples to apples.
Bro, Trey Lance did not throw much in college.
1 year he did though.
54.9.
He only had like 1 year he played.
Yeah, that 1 year. That's what I'm saying.
This is NFL stats. I'm stupid. Wait,
God.
what happened to your stats?
There's none. You barely played. Oh wait, that's NFL.
I'm like, oh God, what happened? Here we go. We got it. He didn't throw much. 192 completions, so 287 pass attempts.
Okay, so he's 67%. I mean,
Anthony Richardson threw a lot more.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's not
sorry.
apples to apples.
Sorry,
Can't
Sushi.
compare.
I told dude, there's like
Fair enough,
there's
fair
like
enough. Okay.
there's this. I was watching this one game on YouTube with Trey Lance, and I was just reading the comments. Guys, like he didn't throw, he never threw the ball the whole game.
What was Shanahan? I just want to know what was Shanahan seeing? Because obviously Lynch didn't want Lance, right? This is completely a Shanahan pick. What did he see? I need to know. Like, what? Why did
Well, he looked great in college. I'm not gonna
All the
like.
same stuff
I
I
liked
saw,
him.
dude. Dude,
looked
look
great
at
in
that.
college.
42 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's what he saw. I'm telling you, that hypnotizes you, man.
It was a pro style offense. Zero. I mean, it was
over
he looked
Justin
great.
Fields? Like, I just don't. If
42-0.
you saw both of them together side by side, I feel like there's no way you could pick. Trey
Well,
Lance over
Justin Fields probably went up against way better competition is
Yeah.
the thing, and so that's just hard to
He beat Trevor
judge.
Lawrence in a big game after injuring his ribs too.
That's
so,
what I'm saying. I just don't see how you could choose him over
Trey
Justin
Trey Lance never had any he never had any of those type of games. It was all just different type of competition. He looked good, and he looked way faster and athletic because the defenses he faced were not.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But we know for a fact that AR is that athletic. He is Lamar Jackson-esque. He is on that level.
Have you seen the game against LSU? Hussein? When he played against LSU and he was running wild on
what
LSU.
game did I thought that's what we watched? That's not what we watched, Shane.
With AR, I don't think so.
Oh no.
Well, that's the game you want to watch. If you want to see what he's capable of, watch that game against LSU. He looked like Justin Fields. Like, it was crazy. He flips
and
into
the next game
in the end zone.
2 picks. That's the problem. That's Malik Willis-ish,
No, he's different. Malik Willis is not on his level. He's
Malik Willis
is not his athletic level, sure, but I mean, let's talk about them as passers.
Yeah. Well,
Malik Willis didn't play in the SEC, did he?
What, Liberty? No, he didn't.
No, so his competition wasn't as good either.
He had bad competition. This is
top level competition. I mean, dropped in the bucket. Just see the run that he has against LSU. It's one of the best in college.
Absolutely.
It's like Vic style.
We're watching the game right now. Yeah, that's insane. That's incredible.
Look how fast he is. Yeah. He looks like a faster Jalen Hurts.
Nobody can tackle him too as he's taking off.
I think it's this right here. I think it's no, not this. Wait. It's when he jumps,
I've seen this. I know what you're talking about. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. But just the way he runs, it's different on camera. It's like
I don't like the way he throws at all. What about you, Couch?
Yeah. He can change that.
Man, I haven't really judged that. What I have judged though is kind of one thing you said is like there's not that many pass attempts, and when there is, I haven't seen anything too special. So it's like
that's why it makes me worry. Lance threw more.
Yeah, that's bad.
No. Lance had games where there was like zero or close to zero pass attempts. It was one of those because it's just a totally different type of competition. Is like why are we gonna throw it?
I think in the modern day NFL though, with everyone's running RPOs, like Jalen Hurts being very effective with that because they're a threat on the ground. I think that his skill set just fits perfectly in the modern day NFL. Like, if he could just get the accuracy down, like the things he can do though on the ground, you can't teach. And he's a physical specimen. You're not going to be able to get him down easily. And he can always get at least like 3 to 4 yards on the ground if the play breaks.
I like the guy that put this together. He didn't just put together a highlight reel.
Yeah, it's
like how he put together a lot of mediocre plays.
Like that was bad. That was good. That throw right there.
I mean, you can't really judge a.
But he threw that dime. He threw that dime in the bucket. Ooh, look at that. Ooh,
that is arm talent. Even though he's throwing it away.
Yeah, did you see him throw at the combine? His arm was disgusting.
Yeah.
The power.
Yeah, that was velocity for sure. The accuracy is all over the place.
Yeah, but you can. With good coaching, you can get that fixed. It's all. I mean, they fixed Josh Allen. They can.
I have a lot of worries. The worry is like Lamar Jackson was MVP, and then a year or two later, wasn't this the guy that Lamar Jackson who went up against the Dolphins and they called blitz 0 every play and they stopped him? Cover 0 blitz. They blitzed
Yeah,
every
that was
play. They
the one.
stopped him. Then the whole season he really struggled with quarters coverage. And then the very next season, which I think was this past season, that problem wasn't there, but his accuracy wasn't that good. And it's like, I'm just worried, like, can teams figure him out? Can teams stop him? Like, because I haven't really seen it as a passer. It's more of a guess game. All we know is that he checks off all the athleticism boxes.
Well, the one
Yeah.
thing too I'm worried about with Bryce is that since he was on Alabama, he was protected with like the best linemen. He had the best receivers. So maybe it kind of hid his size in a way. Then when he goes to NFL, you're not going to be able to hide
Was
it.
that
There's
the run? That's
Yeah,
the run.
was
That's
run.
the.
Wait, go back,
I've
go
seen
back.
this. I've seen this play before.
Yeah,
That's how I knew
yeah.
this was the run. Yeah.
This is the run that kind of like shows what he's capable of. Yeah, but yeah, I'm just thinking like once Bryce Young, I don't know, Bryce Young can make it like 5 seasons of being,
Yeah, I'm afraid of the
pounded
hits.
into the ground.
He's gonna take so
Sure.
many hits. Yeah, I think this was on TV
Yeah,
or something. I saw. Yeah,
like, like who's doing that? Like no one's doing.
He does it with a lot of ease too.
Yeah,
like it was very easy for him to juke and just run through. And what was it, like 75 yards or something?
Yeah, he looked like a running back in the open field. Like he
didn't even get
like
tired. 81 yard
81 rushing yard. Like in fantasy, that's just crazy.
He didn't even he wasn't even breathing heavy, it seemed. Like he just
nothing
like
to him. That's the upside I want.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts. That was so easy to him.
81 yards. It's unheard of. Like from the quarterback position at this level. You know what I mean? It's like he's a freak athlete. Like he can dunk from the free throw line. Like that's the type of athlete he is.
Yeah, no, he's great. And the throws he's playing great. The throws were pretty good. I was impressed by a lot of the throws. But then Sushane says the next game he turned back into a pumpkin.
What happens?
Yeah.
One game looks like a rocket.
It happens.
It looks just bad. That's how it is.
Yeah. But I think in the right situation with the right coaching, you can polish the rough edges and come out with the gem. It'll take some time.
I cannot disagree with that. I just don't, we just don't know the landing spot. We just don't know if that's going to be guaranteed, even if he's with said good coaching. It's going to be up to him at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, just like Jalen Hurts. I heard he works so he's great. Mentally, he's great, and he works really hard. And we've seen that those jumps, the huge improvements. Like,
yeah, that's who him and Fields would be my comp. So obviously the ceiling of but he can be better than them.
Here's why I don't like that, because those guys were way better passers in college.
Significantly better.
Okay.
Way better.
But he can improve,
Justin Fields passing was really good in college.
And we are saying Justin Fields needs to improve as a passer. Same thing with Jalen Hurts.
He didn't have any weapons, though. I still think he's good in NFL. He's decent enough, but he doesn't have any weapons. But now we'll know. Now that he has DJ Moore, now that he has whoever they're going to draft. I think this is the year where we can really see what he's capable of from the passing side.
Judge My Name says Tanner is Flacco. Is this true or false? Tanner McKee.
Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, so I will say false.
Wait, this is just a pro comp. That's
No
not fair.
chance.
That's not fair.
Pro comp? Yeah, sure. He's like any larger framed, bigger quarterback. I don't want to call him a statue, but more pocket type passer. Sure, why not? Okay.
How tall is he? He's 6'6". Wow.
Yeah.
So he's got that big, statue quarterback frame, big arm.
Yeah, like a Walmart.
He looks like a Flacco to me.
Repeat.
He looks like a Flacco. He's smart. He went to Stanford, so he's got to be smart.
Stanford.
I like Stanford quarterbacks sometimes.
Did a lot of these quarterbacks not run the 40?
Yeah.
See,
that's another thing about Rich. He ran the 40. He wasn't scared. Bryce Young didn't run a 40.
Wasn't scared.
I mean,
He wasn't
bro,
scared.
Even help him.
you are such on an AR propaganda, and it's not working against us. You slide
No,
in these small,
I don't
tiny
even care. I just
He's
know
not
he's gonna be
scared.
good.
What do you? Of course, he's gonna run the 40. That's his best attribute. Is the
I'm
combine's
just
his
saying,
best.
Bryce Young
thing.
didn't run it. Bryce Young didn't run it.
Well, that's probably because he drank a bunch of water.
Right.
I mean, if you're not scared,
I don't know.
10 pounds worth of water.
I think if you are a true competitor, you run the 40 no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, you show people what you're capable of. He didn't. So it's just another box he didn't check.
Look, that's fair, because I'm gonna say that about a tight end we're gonna talk about later down the road. So that's fair. That's fair. Okay. I see what you're saying.
I just think it shows you competitive. Like you don't care. Like you want to show people.
I mean, hey, it's still his most attractive trait, like Cal said, and that's probably
absolutely.
He knew that it was gonna help his draft stock also.
For sure. But it's still, he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to. He could have.
Okay, so what happened on the YouTube stream? They did it again. It's been it says Hi Fantasy Couch Podcast. Due to a copyright match, your stream was interrupted. Streams are interrupted when copyright content is detected. After copyright material is no longer being streamed, streams are automatically re-enabled. Thank you for that, Judge by Name.
Wow.
They should be back. We should be back soon on YouTube, but you can watch it on Twitch, or Twitch is the best. If not, Twitter or Facebook backup. Yeah, there we go. So no more watching film, apparently. If it's not 15, it's like 15-second cap on that. We're having fun watching film. I mean, I guess you can't do that, Eddie. This is
people
YouTube.
don't have.
We'll just clip it. We'll just clip it. Shorter clips. It's fine. Each play is 5-10 seconds anyway.
It's fine. Yeah, we'll. I mean, it's just ridiculous, is all. Because on Twitch you can watch stuff for like 8 hours, and it's like chill out. No, so if it was a normal video, like that would be okay. But they're just afraid we're like live streaming CBS and Fox Sports. Like we're not like. We're just watching Anthony. Jeez, it's ridiculous. But now we're learning, and YouTube keeps changing everything to make it harder on us. But whatever. Appreciate that though, Judge by Name. I had to check my email. Okay, what else? So, I was actually watching DTR today, and this is what I thought. The team's not as good. Like when we were watching Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, I was seeing a lot of good receivers, like really good play, especially with CJ Stroud. I see some great play calling, some great wide receivers. Bryce Young looked like he had a great team. Like everything was polished. With DTR, one of the positives, I guess, with him, like the play calling didn't seem as good. His receivers didn't seem as good. Like there's a lot of mistakes, but he still looked good.
Why everybody?
Yeah, so I said that's why. Yeah, I mean it's not Alabama, it's not OSU, so it's just it's a little different.
Where Josh Rosen went, so gotta take it with a grain of salt.
UCLA, Josh Rosen. Oh yeah. I don't
like that about that actually, but yeah, you're right.
So should I? Just put him at 6 for now, like for my preliminary rough draft rankings.
Yeah,
I'd put him.
That's why I have him
6.
I've got him comfortably at 6
after Hendon Hooker.
Yeah,
not before Hendon Hooker.
No. Hendon Hooker could go ahead of Will Levis.
Hendon Hooker could go 4, in my opinion. He's closer to Will Levis than he is DTR.
Okay. Is there anything you guys? We had I don't know. You guys probably had some stuff prepared, and I just started talking. But
I mean that's all. Most of the stuff is going to be review, honestly.
Yeah. So if you whatever we didn't talk about already, go ahead. We got a graphic of CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. So what happened? I didn't answer my own question. So I took the quiz 3 times. Which quarterback do I draft first in Dynasty? The first time I ran away from my problems and didn't answer. I left the quiz. I just ran out of the classroom and transferred schools. I was like, I don't got to worry about this. I was like, it's too early. Second time, my conclusion was CJ Stroud. I think he's great. I felt like I wasn't being a pussycat by taking him and not going risky with Bryce Young or super risky with AR. And then I just took the test again today, and it was very tough. I actually been taking the test. Like it's been a 4-day test, and today I came to the conclusion again. CJ Stroud. So the landing spot probably will be better. It just everything will just, I feel like is just for me. I think it's CJ Stroud. I think Bryce Young is going to get tossed around and hurt. I'm not going to go so far as saying he's going to get hurt, but he's going to get hit so hard. He's going to be flying around like a rag doll, and I don't want that. I don't think that's good. I think that's too tough. Like I think we're going too, like, every quarterback doesn't have to be like Phillip Rivers. They don't have to be 6'5". They don't have to be huge. The game's always changing, evolving, getting more dynamic. We don't need a guy to be like that all the time. But Bryce Young, it's too much like a Doug Flutie or something. It's freakishly small. And I don't want that. He's gonna be getting tackled by like 270-pound dudes. That's tough. It's scary to just imagine that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the
exactly.
reason why you have Stroud ahead of Bryce, and kind of for me as well, this is kind of like a risk reward assessment here. I mean, look, every quarterback is going to have their risks because, I mean, they're rookie quarterbacks. Anyone can be a bust. Really, it's a true lottery type of thing with that position. But as far as the profiles go, right, there's a lot more risk with Bryce Young than there is CJ Stroud. Not my only issue, but the only reason why, like, I just can't sleep at night knowing that if I have the second overall pick, I'm going to pick CJ Stroud. It's just the low reward. I mean, I know deep down that CJ Stroud is never going to produce for me a top 5 season. I mean, I'm thinking he's going to be closer to the Kirk Cousins type as a fantasy producer than a Joe Burrow type. Just being honest with you, I don't think he's, that great. He's good for sure. He's solid. Kirk Cousins, good, solid NFL veteran. He's been a starter for so many years, a consistently good starter also. But I mean, what's the upside, right?
I think he's way more rushing upside than Kirk Cousins.
I think that's a little bit. I think you're a little too down on him. Why can't he be as good as Aaron Rodgers or Andrew Luck?
Does he have that special? Because Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck couch makes you go, wow. When you watch him, you say, wow. Aaron Rodgers does some things that you're just like, that is insane as a passer.
You didn't think against Georgia he had a wow factor? I think he did.
It was definitely impressive to see the rushing
I thought
thing.
it was very
me and Couch watched it live. I watched the game live as it happened, and then me and Couch we watched it kind of the condensed replay a few days ago. None of us walked away saying, whoa, that was nuts. I think the very last play of the reel was the only play. It was like that huge, like 45-yard touchdown pass in the corner of the end zone. Couch, if you remember, I think that's the only play where we both kind of like eyes were wide and it was like, whoa, that's pretty good. Other than that, I mean, the wow factors are coming with Bryce Young and definitely with Anthony Richardson, as you showed with that 81-yard reel and some other stuff that he can do.
So you're saying he's too vanilla, like his ceiling isn't that high.
You really don't think Andrew Luck and Aaron Rodgers, you really think in college those two were had a much bigger wow factor than CJ Stroud?
Absolutely. I thought Aaron Rodgers at that time should have been like it should have been Alex Smith, Aaron Rodgers 1-2. Obviously, we know one of them went and then the other one fell down.
Should have been Aaron Rodgers number 1.
But yeah, I think everyone knows that.
Right? Ahead of Smith.
That's what it should have been.
With all due respect to Alex Smith, who's solid as well. But I mean, that's he's not
that great,
right?
It's not politically correct to say that because of his disgusting injury. He's a great human, and I don't think Alex Smith was.
He's fine.
Good.
He went to the
NFL
AFC champ game with the Chiefs. He's fine. He's not
bad.
Well,
it's more like he held the team back because we saw how they were after he left. They became like the hottest team in the world. That's how good that team was.
Yeah, that is true. That's another way.
Yeah, so I just speak from the truth. Like, yeah, he had a decent career. He wasn't that good. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers was way better. He was a hometown kid. Like, it was just such an obvious pick, but they thought he was arrogant. He brushed off bad, and they just had bad vibes about him. But he's just a different type of dude. But I mean, that's your opinion. I think CJ Stroud could be as good as Andrew Luck or Aaron Rodgers. I don't think, Kirk Cousins definitely a very realistic and good outcome for him, but I do think he could be a little bit better than Kirk Cousins in fantasy.
Is there anything to be said about the fact that they're both California quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young? They're both from
Um,
SoCal. They
I
had
mean, the
good
only thing I can
coaching.
say is that Bryce Young went to the notable school, and Bryce Young has been the notable guy, and like all throughout high school, like we all knew Bryce Young, Bryce Young, Bryce Young. Whereas C.J.
Yeah.
Stroud is kind of like I'm not saying he's like the 1-2 or whatever, but like he was up there. We knew about him. He was solid.
He was a number 1 QB prospect in high school.
Bryce Young.
He won the Elite 11. No, C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud won the Elite 11?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I think Bryce Young was always rated as the top.
He's a 5-star, but
yeah,
I
they're
know
both
Stroud
good, right,
was
right.
Stroud was a top-rated quarterback.
We're just
as well.
spoiled is the point. We're just spoiled with if CJ Stroud was coming out like last year, it would be like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, for
Oh
sure.
my
yeah.
god, he's
Either of
like
these
the
guys
next
are
guy.
gonna
But now
Yeah.
it's like we have a super athletic guy who crushed combine records. We got Bryce Young who's just pop. It's like half a joke, but it's half dead serious. And whatever that's supposed to mean. My pro comp to Bryce Young is Allen Iverson. Or
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Kyler,
saying this.
or
Like high
Kyler.
school Iverson.
I've heard Steph Curry. I've heard Steph Curry by some
Yeah,
guys.
Steph
I mean,
Curry
I
of the
kinda get that.
NFL.
I
You
kinda
like
get it.
that? Or
I can see
you
it.
can say
I can see
Kyler
it.
Murray if you want to, if you don't.
No,
you don't
see,
have
this
a-
guy's way better leader. I think he's just
Yeah,
more,
okay.
like his
mean,
interview
yeah.
ability. Every time I see him on an interview, he's like he could be like a president. Like he's like
Yeah.
that.
Kyler
He's like a
Murray is
Trey
kind of
Lance.
weird. He's very
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Anytime you need a Call of Duty clause in your contract, like
something's
just the
wrong
guy
with you.
thinking about putting that clause in there, something's up. And they actually did put that clause originally in there, the Call of Duty clause. Like that is not what you want in your quarterback contract. Yeah,
I feel like
that's for sure.
we haven't talked about Will Levis that much though. What do you
Yeah,
guys add
we'll
on
get
talked
Will?
about
last
anybody.
thing
Yeah.
to say. Last thing to say, and then we'll move
we're
on.
still on these guys. Yeah.
With Bryce Young, obviously higher upside because he is a rushing type of guy.
Is
Higher
he?
risk because he's smaller.
You saying
for
Bryce
sure.
Young is a rushing type of guy
Yeah, for sure. Bryce Young
over
absolutely.
CJ Stroud?
Dual threat. Yes, he has. So there's a
Okay.
difference between being mobile and being a true dual threat quarterback, right? Anthony Richardson will get you rushing yards in a game. CJ Stroud will get you some rushing yards over the course of the season. He's not going to get you like those
I just don't
40
think
yards.
they used him like that because they couldn't afford for him to get hurt like CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
in
no,
college.
true,
No,
but
they use
but
Justin Fields like this is no. That's a garbage argument. The quarterback before that was a huge runner of the football, Justin Fields. That's no good. It's all about the skill set here. The skill set it's not there with CJ Stroud. He's mobile, fine. He's not a rushing type of
I think he's capable of it
producer,
though. Like if
is what I'm saying.
they have the
He
open
is.
field in front of him, he could get those yards.
He's
Like,
very capable. That's why I was
capable,
talking
but
about like
there's a
Aaron
difference
Rodgers and
between-
Andrew Luck, where they didn't really do it a lot. But they're not like slow. They are capable.
I think what I'm trying to say is there's a fine line between CJ Stroud being capable at doing these types of things, whereas Bryce Young will for sure has proven and already has done it in the stats book, these types of things. One of them is he can kind of do it. The other guy rushes with the football. Same thing with Richardson. We don't know. We're not saying Richardson could be a runner of the football. We know he is. We're saying could he be a passer? We know CJ Stroud's a passer. We're saying could he be?
I don't think Bryce is gonna run in the NFL though. Like if he goes,
I think he's
out
gonna
there,
have to.
They're gonna destroy
He's
him.
gonna
if he
have
goes
to.
there.
He's gonna have to.
I know. I'm saying if he does, it's gonna be a huge target on his back. They're gonna crack him as soon as he goes out there. Like,
That's the durability issue.
you know what I
right?
mean?
That's the
Like
risk
he
there.
could, but if he does,
Well, yeah,
that's a big risk.
if you're a linebacker or defensive lineman, yeah, you're salivating.
He's
at
not
the
going to
shot
be
to hit
protected
him.
as good in the NFL as he
That's
I
was.
think
my
the realistic
worry.
expectation, and then
Yeah.
let's move on to the next guys after this. I think the realistic expectation should be that CJ Stroud could get you a good amount of fantasy points for the whole season, including the fantasy football playoffs, including your fantasy championship if he can get you there, which he could. Whereas Bryce Young maybe gets you higher points on a per game basis, but by week 11, 12, 13, he's probably inactive.
But
right?
can
I think
either of them
that's-
be the QB1 overall in fantasy ever? Is that a possibility with either of those two?
with Bryce
in your
Young?
opinion?
Maybe like he could be
You
like
think he could be the
in the
QB1
first 8 weeks
overall?
of a season, he could definitely be the top scoring quarterback. He has
In fantasy.
for sure in fantasy, yeah, for sure, because he has that
Okay.
legitimate rushing upside. I think it's just a
That's
matter of
interesting
if
to
you
me.
put it through the course of the whole season, I don't think he's gonna last. I'm just like you.
I don't
Mike.
think there's
he's gonna
any
last.
scenario where he's the number 1 overall QB1.
Right.
There's no
exactly.
way. Like I just don't see it. Like over Hurts and Fields, I don't see that. There's no way.
Even both of them got injured. Hurts and Field.
That's what I'm saying. And they're
Yeah.
big. Like Bryce Young, I mean,
Right.
there's no way he's doing what they're doing.
He's got that ability. He's closer to that type of ability than Stroud. All right.
Yeah, we haven't been given too much advice, but this is the closest thing to advice I'm going to give the viewers and listeners. Just imagine Bryce Young getting hit in the NFL. One hit. Imagine that. Visualize it. Keep that in your mind and take that with you to the draft.
That's good advice.
He's gonna be there's gonna be some hang time on that hit, and that's scary. And then you're gonna be so scared when you're looking. You don't even want to look at your sleeper app. You don't want to look down at your phone. Ooh, what happened?
It's gonna be like Tua, but like worse.
The Tua concussion count, the concussion meter. Like it just keeps going.
It just keeps on going off. Oh,
like concussion number 423. Jeez.
Did he ever get concussed at Alabama? Has that ever been documented?
Not that I know of for a concussion. I know he's got the huge hip injury, and then he has a litany of like other.
Bad. He had a shoulder injury, right?
The problem with these college injuries is that if it's not like something major or something that we know of, like an ACL, like a knee or something, then it always just goes under the rug as undisclosed, right? So then when I'm doing my research, I just see a guy who has like 3 undisclosed injuries. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what to do with that, really. So, I mean, he could have had that because he has, from my memory, I think he has a couple of those undisclosed injuries in college. So maybe those could be concussions. Not going to confirm that, though, but very possible.
And think about it, if it's a minor, say a minor concussion, those probably happen so often and we don't even know because it's,
Sure.
I mean, it's football. Like and he's a quarterback. He's right next to the 300-pound guys. Like it can happen so many times and we wouldn't know. We know more now, but yeah, and that's I'm only speaking from the NFL. So in lower levels, yeah, that's probably not as known. Okay, we have a picture of Anthony Richardson and a picture of Will Levis.
Yeah. We kind of highlighted the main things about Anthony Richardson. His film is, we watched that YouTube reel the other day called A Magical Disaster. That's basically his film. So I mean, that's basically what it is, right? So he's one of these guys. He's definitely an athlete. Is he a passing type of quarterback? Well, he has to develop. Right? Given the price, you're going to have a little bit of conviction if you're going to be an Anthony Richardson guy in your draft. Right?
You're going to have a lot because there's a couple of AR freaks in every league.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he's not going to fall out of the top, let's call it 5. I'm going to be conservative and say he's not going to.
I think so. I think you're right.
It could be top 3. It could be top 4. You know what I mean?
In Superflex, it's more like top 3-ish.
Yeah.
There's like I'm saying, there's always going to be at least one guy, at least like probably more, that are one of those AR 1.01.
Truthers.
Exactly. Right.
What did we say, Susha? We came to conclusion about 28% of people tweeting and stuff was like AR 1.01 Dynasty.
Yeah, something like it was close to a quarter.
Maybe I went down that rabbit hole, but yeah, I agree.
It's worth. I thought about it because that's the thing. I'm telling you guys too. I also got excited after the combine. It was very impressive.
It was a thought, yeah, for sure, definitely.
But I crunched the numbers. More than an average of 3 people in your dynasty league will be Anthony Richardson, hardcore truthers. That's just the numbers.
And it's totally up to you if you want to take on that risk, right? I mean, this is going to be a guy where he's going to have high risk. We know that. And then the upside is, is it safe to say this is a stud or dud type of guy where it's like if he pans out in the NFL, he's probably going to be that top 3 to 5 quarterback in fantasy football, whereas if he doesn't pan out, he's just the 0. I think
his floor is Malik Willis. I think it's safe to say.
Oh, I don't think it's that bad. But
that's the floor, like the absolute bottom.
I don't think it's that bad, but it's bad.
It's like a Justin Fields type, you know.
Okay, so his floor is he never develops as a passer and does not become a franchise quarterback. Okay, that's
Right.
fair.
You're
I mean,
basically talking about like he's like XFL. That's what Malik Willis is.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
XFL.
Yeah, that's like the worst case scenario. Like he never learns how to throw accurate. He just can't hit
Just
anybody.
not a thrower.
Yeah,
but let's
not a
compare
thrower.
that then to Will Levis, right? So we know Anthony Richardson, high risk, and then some sort of boomer bust type of reward, right? At least we know that, hey, Anthony Richardson's got a shot for top 3 to 5.
Yeah.
With Will Levis, I mean, he's 6'4", 229. He's got the prototypical frame, and people are gonna say Josh Allen and everything. But are we
who
sure
he throws
about that?
like? He throws like Aaron Rodgers, from what I've seen.
He
in
throw
his
like
pro
what?
day.
What about
Like, the
his throw
style.
reminds you of Aaron Rodgers?
Like he just
angles
the
or-
follow through, the angle, like it's like a sidearm flick, like a quick release.
Okay.
Is it Aaron
you-
Rodgers is extremely quick release? Is Will
Yeah.
Levis really
Yeah.
that quick
When
of a
I saw
release?
from this pro day, from what I watched, it was quick. It was like a
It's
similar
fine. It's
follow
fine.
through. He's a little like jacked, like too jacked, in my opinion. Like he doesn't have a lot of touch on the short throws, but the long, deep balls, he's got more than enough arm for that. I just think that he's very like fitness oriented. Like he's all about like he's a big weightlifting guy. So I don't know if that hurts his touch a little bit too much. But I mean, he's the prototypical quarterback from a size perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he's got going for him. The frame.
Yeah.
He's inaccurate. He's unaware. That's what he brings to the table on in terms of film. He's not that good of a football player, right? So the thing is, like, I could say the same things about Josh Allen, though, right? Inaccurate guy,
exactly.
unaware, not a great football player, but he worked out, right? All I'm saying is there was a lot of things that had to kind of break right for Josh Allen. Like the stars had to kind of align, so to speak, for him to pan out in the NFL. Could have happened for Will Levis? Sure. Am I going to say it? Am I confident that it will? I mean, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'd probably bet that it's not going to happen just because Josh Allen is one of those rare types of guys.
Well, it depends on the landing spot. Like,
Depends on the
where's
landing spot's probably the best.
That's
the best
what we need
answer,
to know.
and we'll see from there. But
like,
yeah,
if he goes to the Raiders, I don't know. I'm worried.
Sure.
If he goes to the Raiders, let's say. But if he lands somewhere
I'm more
better,
of a believer that it's not going to be that because Josh Allen is one of these once in a generation, once in a lifetime type of talents. Honestly, I just think that it's one of these things where it's like we're just prisoner of like we just want the next guy, right? Like we just got Joe Burrow, now we want the next Joe Burrow.
Well, what's his floor? You think? Like what's like the worst case scenario for him?
Well, okay, so obviously excluding the fact that he's a bust, because that's obviously everyone's floor here. I think maybe like mid QB2, like kind of like
is he like a Trubisky? Is he like that guy? Is he like
that's it could end up bad. It could end up poorly, is what I'm saying, right? So that's a legitimate.
What's his best case scenario? Like he's Josh Allen.
Best case would be Josh Allen, but like I don't think he's gonna hit that. You know what I mean?
So yeah, it's like
I don't know, but that's like the top like best case. Like,
I think
big
it's
arm,
safe to say that his ceiling, he has a questionable ceiling, right? Like I don't know what it could be top 5, could be top 7, maybe top 10. I don't think it's gonna be like QB1 type Josh Allen stuff.
Because Josh Allen was the first QB off the board in redraft and dynasty last year. That's just a little.
And I think he is one of one. We got our Josh Allen. There is no 2 Josh Allens in the NFL at the same time. I just don't think that's a thing. That's basically where I'm at with Will Levis. But if we go on to the next player,
translate this comment.
Sure.
Translate this comment here. IG Big Bob says, "Me as a person who watched a Florida game,
okay.
Richardson ain't it. Richardson ain't it. What is he? But Sushane
watched one game and
Sushane's gonna translate this.
He's okay. So
what does this
he
mean
watched
exactly.
Sure, he watched a game of Anthony Richardson, looked at him, took one look at him as a quarterback, and said, "Nope, this guy cannot throw for his life. I'm out." Same,
basically,
literally same, bro. I'm
the
same way.
That's what's said is like I said, he can have a QB1 season in fantasy. He could have Lamar Jackson or whatever, whatever he could. But it's like I'm also worried. Can he keep a starting job in the NFL? It's like very worrisome. A team has to take a risk on him. A team has to believe in him. He has to be a starter more than one game in Dynasty, more than one season, and have more than one successful season. Like this is.
But if he's drafted in the top 5, the chances that he gets the opportunities is higher, obviously.
I think he'll have an opportunity regardless.
Well, that's what, but I'm like, if you're investing a top 4 pick like the Colts, like you're going to play him. You know what I mean? You're going to.
Yeah, you're going
invest.
to try to.
Well, they're more invested. They're more invested for sure.
That's
top
what I'm saying.
4,
the higher
top 5
he goes,
pick.
the more he's appealing to me because it's
like
like
PFFs. The Lions trade up.
Yeah, like that. Like if he does that, then it's like okay, like they believe in this as a
he's gonna have his shot like really.
He's gonna have a real shot like to be the guy for a while. Because you don't do that. I mean, we did that with Trey Lance. It didn't work out, but that's like the
rare. Yeah,
it's the same thing with the Zach Wilson. Didn't work out.
But I think AR is going to go in the first round regardless, and he will definitely get a shot. Like it's going to happen. What about all these bum quarterbacks that were drafted last year? Almost all of them got a shot.
Yeah,
and they were nowhere as like nowhere near where AR is going to go, and nowhere near as good as these quarterbacks. So like they're going to get a shot. Like obviously, what you're saying, you make a valid point. When and if he does go top 5, that's even pushing him. He's going to like have more of a shot. Like they're going to really
the leash is longer. You know what I mean?
Everything, he's going to be out there sooner. They're going to give him more of a better shot. Like
you're the guy.
You're the guy. The crowd when they start chanting AR when Goff screws up, because we know PFF's monster for sure. He's definitely going
might
to
as well just get rid of Goff. They might as well
they'll just fire Goff on the spot. Come here, you're fired. Trade him on during the game. During the game on your app. Yeah.
Draft day.
No way. Yeah. He's the bridge.
No,
just trade it. Goff. The fans will start chanting AR and fire Goff during the draft.
During the draft
live, and then they'd have to fire Goff during the draft before the second round.
During the draft,
that day,
Lions fan base. Let's see if they show up.
The Lions fan base will go nuts if this happens. It's gonna be ridiculous.
What up, kid? Sounds like a little condescending, like we don't know what we're talking about today.
It's like, what hey, up, fellow kids?
Or someone who's really old. Someone who is Steve Buscemi's age.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we could take that as a compliment. We're 3 young, lively bucks on a podcast. Hello, fella. What up,
we are in our 20s.
Yeah. And so is this commentator, obviously.
Probably.
Yeah.
But you're not drafting Will Levis at 7
How do you know that? You don't know that.
Well, this is I think he's talking about the NFL draft, but that doesn't matter. We're talking about Dynasty.
Yeah, we're talking about Dynasty.
In Dynasty, I mean somebody might take him that high. I don't know. I mean, super
sure.
flex, people take quarterbacks super high.
Exactly. That's a weird comment.
Okay, we have something that I don't think needs a translation. I thought Lamar Jackson in college, I thought it was spectacular.
He won a Heisman.
Yeah. He threw a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, he was great, and obviously the rushing was off the charts. But he did both. Like it was 40-yard bomb touchdowns.
How many throwing touchdowns did Anthony Richardson have? Does anyone know?
I got it up. The stats are here. So Anthony Richardson really only had 1 year.
I know, but how many touchdowns did he have?
I'm just prefacing. Yeah, it's 17 touchdowns, 9 picks.
Okay, I mean that's not terrible.
17 TDs is good. 9 picks is not that great.
I know, but 17 TDs.
17 is okay.
Not just rushing, passing.
Trey Lance had a higher completion percentage in college.
But he had way less passes, so it's skewed.
And well, it's not even that. It's the competition.
And he played against.
It's the competition. It's not the sample size. It's a competition.
Bro.
Yeah, it's
bro,
not.
Anthony Richardson just blamed his receivers and said none of them could catch. I mean, that's not.
Maybe they couldn't. Who are they? We don't.
The percentage is. This is low though.
It's bad. That's what I'm saying. It's bad.
It's bad for a guy who can run, and everyone's like,
look, if Anthony Richardson was around 2 NFL draft,
I said it was 1 year.
That's all. That's sometimes all we have to go off.
I know
from college prospects, which is the case.
There's a lot. You have to look at the potential. You got to look ahead and project ahead.
This could be lower in the NFL.
That's all I'm saying.
Or-
It could be
I
better.
just
You
did
liar.
exactly what you did. You told me to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you use common sense,
But he
it
never
would go
had
lower.
NFL receivers. He had no NFL receivers. So give him some real receivers and
All
see
right.
what happens.
Um,
And real tight end.
Bob says Lamar was inaccurate in college, but Richardson makes Lamar look like Brady throwing the ball. That's pretty bad.
I mean, that is
That's a
exaggeration.
horrible
there is
exaggeration.
some truth to that
That's
joke. There is
exaggeration.
some
He's
truth.
trying to get his comment read.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to get
He's using the PFF click.
He's saying
click
you make Wayne Brady look like Malcolm X. Like that's exactly what.
Oh, this Chappelle's game.
Yeah,
I thought you were getting your this. Coincidentally, they're both Brady. I was like,
no,
I think you got your Brady's mixed up.
no.
No, I get it, the Chappelle sketch.
Yeah.
Who did Lamar have at Louisville?
No one.
I don't know.
No one.
He was a Superman. He did it all. He was so
Louisville,
excited.
Louisville was in the ACC, right? So
Less competition than
competition.
Florida
Yeah.
Gator.
Yeah.
This is tough. No, it's good that we have different stances and we don't have the same exact stance, and that's what we're doing right now on this podcast is what a dynasty league will look like. Look, 1 out of 3 people are pushing AR, and that's exactly how your league is going to look. 1 out of 4, and 1 out of 3 people in your league will be hardcore AR fans. And I guess my main advice with him is like, guys, be ready to trade him. Because there's rookie fever and then there's fever like we saw with a guy like Justin Fields, right? If a guy's that hot and somebody wants him, you got to be ready to trade him. Because I've seen this story pan out so bad so many times. We'll see.
All right, talk about Will Levis. We didn't talk about him, did we?
We did. We just did
Okay.
a little. We did
All
a good amount.
Okay, we got bored of him.
We always go back to AR is all.
Yeah,
No, we
he's
talked
so
about him a good
polarizing.
amount.
Yeah, he's a
All right.
polarizing guy for sure.
Yeah, super polarizing.
I'm going to tell you a guy that I would rank ahead of Will Levis. Okay.
Hendon Hooker.
Now hold on, Bob, with another comment. I got to defend Mike on this. This is
Okay,
this
here we
is
go.
so ironic because I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think he knows this. I don't think he knows this about Mike. Mike, this wasn't in my league. I just heard the story.
Yeah.
Bob says Mike taking A-Rich round 2 in a startup like he's taking the next Jalen Hurts. Now, what's funny and ironic about this is that everyone made fun of Mike for passing up on Dak Prescott in a startup and taking Jalen Hurts, a younger quarterback who at the time, Mike, you were a big clown. You were a joke.
Yes.
And now you have Jalen Hurts on your team. And
I'm gonna have Anthony Richardson as well.
Which is the irony. I was like, Mike, you should have took Dak. And he's like, maybe I should have, but he's like, I like Jalen Hurts. So
and
you
I
realize the
QB whisperer.
Oh yeah, you got yeah, I'm the only one that's not in that league actually, but
I missed on Trey Lance though, I will say that. I traded with Shane. I traded like 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance like 2 years ago. That was the worst move.
All 3 of us here.
Half an hour before
That's because I was a
debut.
homer though.
But half an hour before his NFL debut.
Yeah, that was probably the greatest.
talk about selling high on a guy.
Yeah, that was the highest he'll ever be.
That hype is real though. The guy who sold him was smart. Like, let's just face it. Whoever sold you Trey Lance was smart. When you got that type of hype in a dynasty league, you got to capitalize.
But he capitalized on my Niner fanhood. So that's what it was.
We were excited.
This isn't the same case with Anthony Richardson. I'm not biased in that regard.
Yeah. We're saying it right here, folks. AR is not going to the 49ers. You heard it here on the Fantasy Couch podcast. Bold take. or maybe there's a Niners. Do they even have firepower? They'd have to trade up or something. I don't.
They got some players. I don't know. I don't even want to exhaust it
from their what's it called? The 3rd round picks. What are they called?
The compensatory.
We got 11 draft picks, by the way.
Yeah,
in this draft.
So now we got some good fantasy picks for 49ers at other positions coming up. I know you're gonna ask that question at some point, but I have
tight end
targets ready for you. So
all right, we're talking. All right, we got more quarterbacks to talk about.
I think this is the last 2 big ones, and then it's gonna be pretty quick. Hendon Hooker, definitely a guy I would take ahead of Will Levis as of now. again, it's more of the risk reward kind of assessment, right? Like I think with Hendon Hooker, similar type of floor, right? Like there's, he's definitely not the same as thick maybe as Will Levis, but he, like you said, 6'3", 217. He's not undersized by any stretch of the imagination either. He's built well enough to be in the NFL. He's mobile, more enough to become, relevant in those rushing statistics for fantasy, so we can get you that rushing floor, rushing touchdowns, those rushing stats, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm going to be honest with you, the only reason why I did not put him in the graphic, Drew makes our graphics, the only reason why Drew didn't put him in the graphic earlier is because he's been falling for the only reason because he got hurt. He tore his ACL in a game.
It's like 4 months ago, right?
Yeah, 4 months ago, late in the season. And before that, this guy was a first-round talent. We're talking like mid-first round. Like we're talking like, hey, are we going to take Anthony Richardson? Are we going to take Hendon Hooker or Will Levis? Like what the landscape looked like in the middle of the college football season was, okay, we got Bryson Stroud as our top 2 guys. And then we got 3 guys, Levis, Hendon Hooker, maybe Anthony Richardson. Then Hendon Hooker gets injured, and now he just disappeared. It's not a serious injury, right? Like, we know ACLs are not – I mean, sure, it's an injury. It's definitely like a thing to take note of, like we should – okay, he's got an ACL. You should know that going into the draft. But it's not the end of the world. It's not like a shoulder injury to his throwing arm or something like that, something more significant, like that hip thing with Tua. It's not like that. It's just an ACL. Like we've seen a lot of guys come back with that. So if he has the same rushing ability, which I think he will, he comes back. I think he should be, at least as highly touted as Will Levis. I think he should be in that type of conversation, that type of tier. And for me, I personally, especially when he went up face-to-face against Will Levis at the college level, I'm more of a Hooker fan than I am Levis. I'm more of a Hendon fan. Pause. I'm more of a Hendon fan than I am Levis. There we go.
Who does he play like, in your opinion?
Good question.
Drew Brees. No,
not Drew
JK.
Brees.
JK. If you tuned in late, you would not have got that joke. It was just a joke, folks.
Let's call it like Walmart Fields Hurts. Like a Walmart.
What?
Like a Walmart.
Fields Hurts.
Like a Walmart. It's
that's
not
Richardson.
It's not like that athleticism ruling, right? Like it's not the same thing. But like it's kind of there, for sure.
Is he like Walmart Deshaun Watson, or he's not?
That sounds better, actually.
Yeah, that sounds better.
It says it's 40 times 4.96.
That's
I don't
slow.
know. I mean, that's not.
Well, he's gonna get you those rushing. He's not one of those like pocket only guys. He's got some. He's athletic enough to make it.
It's not gonna translate into NFL to like, he might get the Konami code, but it would be barely. Yeah. He'd barely.
Exactly right.
So like Ryan Tannehill, slightly more rushing yards than Ryan Tannehill, maybe.
Yeah, that's a better one actually. Ryan Tannehill, that's a better one.
Oh, I just came up with a pro comp. I was just throwing out stats. Yeah, there you go.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill. Okay.
Yeah, he's because
well, he fell off and he sucks now in fantasy. I get that, but like for a while, people in fantasy were like, "That's my best value QB." Like I'm just gonna wait and draft Ryan Tannehill as my QB1. Yeah, we're not talking about just last year.
That's the right phrase.
I started him for 1 week last year. It was the worst decision I've ever made.
Ryan Tannehill was garbage and a huge disappointment, but then we saw when he got hurt and Malik Willis played, we're like, bring back Ryan Tannehill, please. Like this guy's so bad. So yeah, the whole team was kind of messy, other than Derrick Henry.
Is there a potential Hendon Hooker to Titans? Is that possible?
That could be interesting.
Sure.
That could be interesting. I think the phrase that you used, Couch, is the right one to go with, though. Ryan Tannehill being like the best value quarterback. I think if Hendon Hooker gets that starting job eventually in time, he'll probably be looked at in a fantasy football season as that value quarterback target that I want to draft.
Bob brings up a point that, by the time you have the opportunity of even thinking about starting him in fantasy, he's going to be 26.
That's true.
That could also add to his value, though. So we got an ACL, we have less draft capital, and we have an older guy. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking I can get this guy at a double discount, not
Oh,
30% off. Maybe I can get him at 40% or 60% off
For sure.
of the draft price. So I like the. I'm a value guy. That's like my main thing. And
I
he
can
could be great
guarantee you
value.
right now. I can guarantee you right now in Superflex rookie drafts, he's going round 2. He's not going round 1.
Yeah, he's going round 2. Yeah.
Quarterback,
Yeah.
Superflex, round 2. If you get a starter,
that's true.
That's a good pick.
That's great. He's going to be your QB3, but you can start him as your number 2 QB.
Yeah.
Dwayne Haskins is a guy I talk about a lot. So CC's asking, is Hooker going to be the next Dwayne Haskins? RIP. RIP.
Yeah.
May rest in peace. Yeah, Dwayne Haskins guy I bring up often, and he had good college stats on paper, but he wasn't a great prospect. And it was his RBs doing it. It was a lot of play calling. It was a lot of yak. He was not a good NFL player. But yeah, answer the question. Yeah,
I think those are legitimate concerns because Hendon Hooker, I think maybe last time we were talking, Couch, you had mentioned, some of these guys don't even play in like a pro style NFL offense. They just play in, they just have like 11 guys, just throw them on the field in some alignment. And just play.
I don't like that term, by the way, pro style. I mean like somewhat like within the realm of possibility in the NFL, like a spread or air raid. Like they use a lot of those concepts, but like some of these offenses are weird. Like this, like Hooker's offense, right? Yeah, it's super weird. Like that, you're not going to run that like anything close to that except for a couple plays, maybe.
Exactly, and that's basically the type of offense that Hendon's in. He's not really in a real offense that you'd see in the NFL. He's just in one of those things where he just has guys around him and he's throwing the ball to him, just kind of playing like, I don't want to say backyard football, but in a way there are some elements that are just kind of backyard football there. So as far as the transition to the pros, he's not like a top prospect. He's the pedigree 5-star. He's none of that. He's not going to be the first round draft capital type of guy. So there's for sure some concerns that he could be like a Dwayne Haskins and just not ever pan out. Yeah, I think that's valid. At the same time, the upside for the price, I think you're getting a similar upside player as a guy like Will Levis. And Will Levis, you're probably going to have to take with maybe not a top 3 pick in your rookie draft, Superflex, but probably like top 5, worst case scenario, like 6th, 7th overall. Whereas Hendon Hooker is same upside, kind of similar floor, round 2. Give me that all day long.
Why isn't DTR in the top 5? Because he's way faster. His throwing power is not bad. I like the velocity on it. It's not like insane. UCLA, like I felt like he had to carry the team a lot. Not a great play calling, maybe not the best receivers. So like, I don't know. Maybe this guy deserves
I think he's underrated.
To be drafted a little higher.
Yeah.
He's actually my sleeper. I was going to present him to you guys as my sleeper quarterback of this class.
Oh.
This is the one guy that I'm like, kind of most interested in. It does have a lot to do with the fact that people are not interested in. I'm gonna admit that. I'm gonna be the first to say that this is not like me falling in love with the player. It's more of me falling in love with the idea that, hey, no one else likes this player, and I think this guy is definitely better than, the Tanner McKees and the other irrelevant guys that we're talking about. As far as why he's not ranked as high as these guys, the top 4, 5, let's call it, he's just not as good as a quarterback, dude. It's just simple. Like every single tool you think of, arm strength, arm accuracy, awareness, pocket presence, blah, blah, blah. Basically every single box, he's just like...
He's just not great at anything.
Sure. And not only is he not, like, he's bad at some stuff too. Like, it's not like he's one of those things who's just mid at everything and like not bad at everything. He's bad at some stuff. He's okay at others. He's good at some stuff. He doesn't really have anything insane about him. And I would say that if you were to look at any single quality, like let's say accuracy, for example, you would not say he's the most accurate passer. You would not say he is the strongest arm passer. You would not say he's the most dynamic passer. There's no category where he's number 1 for you. It would be Stroud or Young or Richardson in those departments, or Levis for frame, stuff like that.
So you think
the Niners are interested in him?
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
DTR.
That's cool. Price. That's a cool pick. I think.
Yeah.
Day
It's
2
like
pick,
for depth.
right?
Yeah, day
Yeah,
2.
day
Yeah,
two.
for
Day
sure.
2.
Even
Like
day
fourth,
3, I've seen
fifth,
someone
sixth
going-
round.
Yep, I've seen someone.
Yeah.
Oh,
going
you could go
day-
day 3. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, anything after these two go, it's like a lot of different things can happen after Stroud and Bryce Young go.
And like Mike said, there's Anthony Richardson could for sure go in some leagues, sandwiched between those two guys are ahead of both.
I'm
Stroud
talking
and-
the NFL draft.
Yeah, you
I'm
never
talking
know.
about the Niners. Yeah, it's an
You never
NFL
know.
draft.
That's the 49ers.
So do you think DTR? It's going to be he has to compete very hard to win a starting job and maintain it.
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
NFL?
I think he's for sure like floor, like a high quality NFL backup. He's one of those guys who definitely needs to scratch and claw a little bit and kind of earn a starting role. But I think he can. I think he has a talent. That's the thing. Like that's why
He can be a starter in the right situation if things break well. Like the starter gets hurt, he has to come in because I think he's definitely going to be the backup somewhere. A high level backup.
You were saying the 49ers are interested. I mean, if the 49ers do take him, I get that they have like freaking 7 quarterbacks on the roster. But I mean, yeah, I'm interested. That
3.
Good.
3. But yeah. We definitely need 4 to be safe. We feel like we're like not coming in the season shorthanded. I feel like we're the only team that needs to like keep 4 quarterbacks on the roster, like heading into week 1.
Yeah.
That's like a must.
I know there's some seriousness to that because how last year went, but I mean,
there's definitely seriousness.
Yeah. I mean, 2 of them are injured.
Yeah, 2 of them are injured already.
Yeah, I mean,
already
it is serious. Like they're gonna at least have 1 or 2 more QBs at least for
I think so.
Training camp, like at least.
Yeah.
Like. I mean, which is almost a standard, and so especially with them, like they're gonna have at least 4 or 5.
Like if you have DTR, like that's
good. You're not trading Trey yet, dude.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Out first, bro. Come on.
Here's the question:
how is he gonna play if Bryce Young or if Brock Purdy is the guy? How is Trey gonna play?
If Brock Purdy is actually the guy, then you have a guy. Then forget it. Then my answer is, who cares what happens to Trey Lance? You have Brock Purdy. If that's truly what happens, that's my answer.
It's about the price.
We're trading him then. Like, there's no way you could keep both. Like, you have to trade one of them. Like, you have to trade Lance.
Not necessarily.
If Brock Purdy is truly the guy,
Trey Lance is on his that there's a reason why Zach Wilson may not get traded early. They're both on their rookie contract.
Also, a reason we got Darnold. There's a reason we got Darnold.
That's different. That's a different conversation. I'm talking about they're both on their rookie contract. They're cheap, and there's probably not a bidding war for somebody to jump off a cliff and give up everything to get a guy like Zach Wilson or Trey Lance because their stock is low right now. So
I think if you could get a second rounder, that's good enough. Like, get a second rounder.
Well, that may or may not be there. Like,
I think
that offer's got to be on the table.
That may or may not. I'm just saying, like, there's not a long line to go and overpay for Zach Wilson and Trey Lance right now.
True.
It's not a hot stock.
Vikings could use them.
Vikings, they could definitely use some new blood.
I'm just saying that if he's on his rookie contract and the price isn't high, so I don't know what the price is. I just know it's not high. Then they might want to keep him, and especially because there's a lot of maybe they like him, maybe there's a lot of reasons. And then they could get traded. He could get traded though too. Like I'm not saying like it's not gonna happen. Like, dude, if Brock Purdy's killing it, he's the starter, and there's a little bit of demand for Trey Lance, then then he might get traded. Here's a great question though. Sushane, do you guys know the answer to this? Does the Wonderlic score tell you anything? Never understood that.
Bryce, Purdy had a really good intelligence score, I think. It just shows that you can process information quickly, which is a very, good indicator of how
Wonderlic score is a quarterback IQ.
It's a quarterback IQ
test.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So
okay.
What it is that it's a test with a lot of questions, very easy questions. Like there's some thinking to it, but like very let's call it like level 1 thinking, and you have to do a lot of questions in a very short amount of time. So it basically tells you how fast of a thinker, how fast of a processor you are. As far as is it, does it tell you anything? Is it useful? I'm not going to say my own opinion because I don't really have one. I'll tell you what the NFL's opinion is. It's garbage because the NFL got rid of it. The NFL used to have it for these quarterbacks. Like you see Cam Newton. Wow, 11th percentile.
This is, I randomly brought this up. I randomly was on this page today. That's why I brought it up.
Sure.
I was probably looking at Anthony Richardson and I forgot, but I brought up Cam and I just saw this and that's why I brought it up again.
Sure.
11th percentile. That means he was really bad.
If you bring up someone like
Wonderlic
maybe Trevor
score.
Lawrence or maybe Justin Fields, someone who's more recent, I don't think you're going to see that score because they removed that.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's why I couldn't find it. I couldn't even find it for Brock Purdy. But there's other tests, like Mike said, intelligence. There's these other tests they do, and like no one ever remembers the names. But there are different tests and measurables that aren't like the combine stuff. And I can never find the name or remember them. And when I talk to people, they don't remember it either. But there's other tests. I guess so. They got rid of the Wonderlic.
They got rid of the Wonderlic. In my opinion, the best way to test a guy's intelligence, like again, just meeting a guy, you're not with them all the time, is when you have those meetings, like during the combine, you can kind of put some highlights on there and you can kind of ask them while they're in front of you face to face, you can ask them, hey, here's this play. Walk me through it. What'd you see? Why did you do? What did you do? All that stuff. And you can kind of get a mind of like, all right, how much do they know about offense? Do they know these types of schemes, et cetera, et cetera?
They only got rid of it a year ago, so it's only been gone for 1 year.
It's only been gone for 1 year?
Yeah. So it's fairly, I mean, up until last year, it was every year.
That's how the NFL, no, I don't want to say that they think it's garbage, but, they think it's not useful enough to continue it, at least.
Peyton Manning, I'd say, is probably the smartest quarterback ever, and he got 28, which is 47th percentile, which means average.
And again, that's not mean like he's an average intelligence guy, right? It's just saying like, all right, if I gave you like 100 math problems, like 17 times 15.
It's a 50 question test.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically saying how fast can you do that?
It's like the SATs, basically.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like Zach Wilson aced it? Oh,
can we see?
Wow, look at the guy's picture. Oh,
Yo,
are they trying to say he's a
Fell off
clown?
that bad?
This is this is from the movie. That's that movie where I think this is
Truman
from the
Show.
movie Truman Show. Yeah, I don't know
Truman
how
Show.
I know. I felt like it was from Truman. Yeah, what are they trying to say? That he's a clown? That he's on reality?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to say that there's a chance.
No.
So you're telling me there's a chance it would have been a Dumb and Dumber? It would have been the Dumb and Dumber picture.
It
So
should've
is it
been,
like
right?
Wikipedia? Anyone could just upload whatever.
No,
pictures
this
they
is their
want?
website. This is their
I know.
website.
Why did they do that? Why did they change it?
They're
They have
just
a
like
few
2
websites.
guys or 4 guys, and they do this. They made a Clyde Edwards-Helaire potato head. Most of the time, it makes sense and it's funny, but
Okay.
sometimes it's they push it too hard or it's weird. Like Benny Snell. I always called him a snail, and then I went and there's
Benny
like
Snell.
actual snail on his pic. I was like, dang, this is exactly what I've been trying to say. Yeah, they.
Love it.
Okay, so there's another test called the S2 cognition test.
Okay.
And Purdy had a score in the mid 90s, which is Drew Brees like. It's elite. So that showed that he.
So has this
has
test
an
been
elite
going
process.
on, or is this like a replacement or like a
I think it's a
refurbished?
replacement
Okay.
test.
Interesting.
Oh, it says the S2 isn't an intelligent test like the 50 question Wonderlic, but rather measures how quickly and accurately athletes process information. So it's called the
What?
S2.
How long's it
test.
been going on? This could actually have been, because I'm telling you, there were other tests from a long. I've been hearing this for years and years. So
Well, this is the new test that measures.
You sure it hasn't been going on for a while?
I don't know. This
There's
is
been
what I'm
other
saying.
ones.
But this is the one they're using now to measure how fast you can process information.
Yeah, I don't know why they put the Truman Show. We're trying to figure
Trying to
that
crack
out.
the
I
code
don't
here.
know, but that's me and you recognize this is Jim Carrey. And
100%.
what I believe is, well, we know it's Jim Carrey, but I'm pretty sure it's from the Truman Show. That's like where me and Mike both think it's Truman Show. Truman Show,
It
Jim
is.
Carrey.
It is Truman Show.
Yeah, and why I don't know why they would. Okay, the file name is called Truman.png.
It has.
Okay.
There you
So
go.
we're
Done. It's over. It's
Yeah.
over.
yeah, but I mean, why? I'm trying to figure out why they use. What?
Yeah. Why did? Okay.
This
yeah,
guy's
why
saying
is
the eye in the sky is too big for Truman and Zach Wilson, both freaking out on TV.
Oh, maybe.
Did they
I
have their
see.
freak out moments?
Yeah,
Zach-
because this is the one where they have like everything is like televised for him, right? So he's
Yeah, so his
handling
whole
it.
life's televised and he doesn't know. And then at the end, I guess you could say Truman freaks out. But I mean, he's very rightfully so that he freaks out. But Zach Wilson freaks out at a press conference. I guess that's what it is. He can't take it. Yeah, he can't take the pressure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it kind of it's weird, but
that's a reach a little bit.
we have a random dynasty question.
Okay.
Want to hit that up? Nope.
So who also did good on the S2 cognition test was Joe Burrow and Drew Brees.
So it's been going on for if Drew Brees did it, that means it's been
Yeah.
going on. What was that, like 20
So
years ago?
this is like the test that like now they're like saying this is like the
I think this is what I was talking about. They actually have a correlation of good NFL quarterbacks scoring high on this test.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
test.
That's why
This
I
is
asked if it's I think this is it, and that's why
Yeah.
let's just get rid of the Wonderlay.
So Purdy ranked really high.
Can you find out Peyton Manning's? That would
Yeah,
solidify
that's
what
awesome.
I'm
That's
saying.
cool.
Because Peyton should have done well on this. If
I don't
this
know.
is what I'm saying, if you can find that out.
I don't think they had it.
Mike's doing
that
heavy.
long ago.
Peyton Manning and Drew Brees, isn't that not too?
No, he was a little
too many.
older. A lot older, actually.
Peyton Manning came out a little earlier than Brees.
Yeah. Yeah. So Brees rated high, Burrow rated high, Purdy rated high. So it's definitely a good indicator. So we should watch out for that. If there's any results,
We'll just base all our rankings off QB rankings off just that test.
Yeah, I think that's good.
It's not biased. It's easy and it'll work. We'll just do it. We have a question from Cece. Not sure if you think it's too early, but someone sent me Higgins for Pickens PPR thoughts. Always amazing content, Couch.
Higgins for Pickens?
Which Higgins?
T. Higgins?
Wait, what?
No way. What?
So
Go
this
get T.
is super flex, I assume.
For George Pickens, right? That doesn't matter. It's wide receiver for
it doesn't matter.
Oh, I don't know why I'm thinking of the quarterback for the Steelers.
Oh, Kenny Pickett?
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought Pickens.
Same team, wrong position. It's all good.
Yeah, same team. Okay, so a wide receiver for a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, this is a heist for T. Higgins, right?
Just go get
Agreed.
Higgins. One's younger. I mean, that's really the biggest, right? Is that
Higgins
the biggest?
is way better. Way better. T. Higgins is a bona fide one in this league. I don't know if I could say that yet about Pickens.
Just go get Higgins. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, let's go get T.
Why would
24 years old?
Why
What are
would
you
you
doing?
want? That's a weird question.
The potential, the mystery, the age, the youth.
No.
I was just answering. I was answering your question, Bucket. That's all. That's why. But I mean, I wouldn't. But I would say, yeah, no thanks. I'd get Higgins. Just get the bona fide guy.
Yeah. That doesn't
Big
make
win.
sense to me. Pickens didn't show that much to put him over Higgins.
Yeah. Well, that's it, really. We want to talk really quick about these guys.
Yeah.
McKee, Bennett, Hayner.
I don't really know any of them except for Bennett, so
That's why we got Sushane.
I don't have much.
Okay, yeah. No, that's fine. What I'll say is, bottom line is let's wait for the NFL draft. Let's see which ones actually do get drafted, first of all, and where they get drafted, whatever. But I think we're looking at, as far as like fantasy value type players, I think we're looking at kind of like a Gardner Minshew, Bailey Zappi type. And Couch, I know that in one of our leagues where we have a deeper pool of rookies to pick, and we have a little bit of a quarterback issue, these could be good picks for us, right? Like, look, we're not going to expect, let's say you draft Stetson Bennett, for example, you're not going to check off the box on your team for QB. Like, you still need a long-term quarterback, something more stable at that spot. But Stetson Bennett could definitely start for you 2-3 games in the season, maybe put up 20, 22 fantasy points for a couple of those games, win you a week. So if you're in that fantasy, let's say you have Mahomes, he goes down, you need a quarterback, you have Bennett because you drafted him in the 4th round or you picked him up off waivers. somehow let's say he's the backup, for example, then he gets
4.6 is
in.
fast. I
Yeah,
feel like.
he's got
For
some.
him. 4.6, that's crazy.
Mike, the bottom line is there's all these quarterbacks later in the draft where they all have intriguing enough tools to where if I told you I need them for just 1 week, I would say, yeah, it's possible they could start for a week and get you that 20, 25 point win and propel your team and keep you afloat if you're a contending type of team, right? You're not going to check the box off. That's the whole thing. That's the only issue.
I'm a believer in Bennett. I think he can do something in the NFL.
Sure, but I mean, you're not a believer that Bennett's going to be a franchise quarterback, are you?
No, but I think he could be a starter on the right situation.
There you go.
If
right?
given the chance.
There's other guys like Tanner McKee. He's a little bit bigger, like we went over. I think one of them gets compared to Gardner Minshew.
I need to know their S2 cognition scores before I make any.
Yeah, this is the only thing that matters now.
Yeah,
S2 cognition scores. That's what we learned on today's podcast.
Yeah.
Jake Henry's another guy.
Bob, we have Bob left a comment. Bob is he's a is he ageist? What's it called? Ageist.
Yeah.
He knows a lot about the age. He's an age guy. He is an age guy. He got the age.
In Dynasty, you gotta be though, right?
But no, I just noticed he always pops up. He's like
how old is this guy?
He's like Calvin Ridley is this much older than everyone else.
You're like, wait a minute.
Like,
no, you're right. No,
he always knows. He always brings up the age. He's like, this guy's 3 years older. This guy's birthday is 2 months before mine. Like he knows all this. So he's saying Stetson Bennett is older than Jalen Hurts.
Well, you're not going for the upside with Bennett. You're going for what is.
Dang, that is a big age though. 25.4.
Yeah, sure. But again, we're talking.
But he's seasoned. He's won.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, it's a little older than you'd expect. Is all. I'm not.
People know he's old. Like people, no, it's not sneaking up on anybody. Like he's old.
You find out after you draft him.
You're like, what?
Oh crap! I drafted a 26-year-old.
Yeah, I don't think he's sneaking up on anybody.
Yeah, well, what I will say, and I'll kind of end the quarterback analysis on this, is I would say Stetson Bennett has among the highest upside of the remaining. I would say Tanner McKee, Stetson Bennett, and then I like the guy who's ranked number 9, Jaron Hall. He gets compared to Gardner Minshew. He went to BYU. He's got some tools.
Okay.
25, not
a little old though.
Not as Zach Wilson.
Old for my taste.
A little old.
25. I don't know.
I feel you.
I mean, this guy's literally the 10th QB off the board. Then
exactly right.
That's so late.
This screams Zach Wilson to me.
No, Zach Wilson went tough. You
You
were excited the Niners might get Zach Wilson.
I know I was.
Well, either way, we were screwed.
Yeah, either way, it turned out.
Zach or Trey, pick your.
It's like the worst.
You're way less screwed right now. Come on, way less screwed. Like Trey Lance is still a question, whereas Zach is for sure a dud.
Yeah, Zach's like a cancer. Get that.
Yeah, that's true. We still have some hope, some glimmer of hope with Trey Lance.
You want to punt him? You want to punt that guy off the field, like Zach?
No, I'm just reading the tea leaves. Like this is what Lynch said. He hates Trey Lance. He likes Darnold over Trey Lance. We know that. He's just like, Kyle's his guy. That's the only guy that has.
I like how you believe everything.
I don't know. This is just what I've been watching.
This could be true, but this could be true.
I can't disagree. I can't agree. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could be true. I'm just saying, I don't know if he really thinks Darnold's better than Trey Lance.
Well, he brought him in. He brought in Darnold. That's his
guy. You need to bring in some guys.
But Darnold didn't go there thinking he's going to be the QB3. He went there thinking he could either be the QB2 at worst or the QB1 at best. That's what he's thinking. So
it's great for him, but I think he's the QB3 as of now.
I don't know.
That's my opinion.
Darnold's
been wrong in the past. I've never been wrong.
Yeah,
I'm always right.
I mean, you could say he's a better polished quarterback right now than Trey Lance.
Yeah, you could say yes.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be. That's not. Yeah, I mean that's not that far off. We saw some mocks where Hooker to the Saints, and I think that's a good place for him.
Yeah, I'm
That
into
makes
that.
sense. Anything can happen.
Mhm.
Well, there you have it, folks. We talked about the QBs. Sue Shane, do you think we'd do another live stream on the main channel? What we're gonna I don't know. I don't know if we can do that anymore. We'll see because they stopped the live streams, we learned. So
I think we'll. Yeah, maybe
that
we'll
kind
have
of
to see if
ruined
we
the
can do
whole
it.
idea because I was just wanted a lawn. I mean, we could just do it on here.
Yeah,
I mean, since we're only watching 15-second clips, I mean, that's not maybe the point. I don't know.
I could break it down
We'll see.
into smaller clips. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we're ending it. You got to watch the replay or listen to the podcast. It's everywhere, Dak. You can watch the replay on the Fantasy Couch Podcast YouTube channel or check out Fantasy Couch Podcast everywhere there are podcasts. We're going to end it there. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.